So, first question, anyone? Alex?
I've heard on the grapevine that Elliot Hanley was put up to running for nomination on a bet as a joke amongst friends. I was just wondering if anyone else running for sabbatical or non-sabbatical was part of that bet. I wouldn't like to vote for someone and inadvertently find out that they consider LGBT and women's issues a joke.
I'd like to find out first, was that the case or not?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Well,
is it the case that anyone else is part of this bet that potentially may or may not exist?
No.
That's what we're going to get from you, I think. John?
Can Elliot explain what that Elliot Loves Whimsy on the ceiling is and where that's come from?
I can explain what that is. Peter and Neil wrote that up there. Yeah. Hello?
hi. This is a question for welfare, potentially campaigns. We don't have a campaign, do we?
No.
What are you going to do for potential transgender students of Heathrow? And also, this has to encompass, I want you to talk about the loos. Not that there is a situation, but tell me about the loos of Heathrow and how there's the male loos and female loos, and if there are any gender neutral toilets.
Anyone in welfare want to take that first?
Yeah, we're rubbish at that, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to have provision for people of all genders and people who fall on the trans spectrum as well. It's not acceptable to have just male and female toilets. We need to have particularly accessible toilets that are gender-free, and more provision for people who are a bit fluid and actually make it a bit of a non-issue too.
To clarify, there are some on the top floor, but that's the top floor. And
yeah, the
some
accessible
students sometimes
toilet
think that
is gender neutral currently.
Chris, want to take it earlier? No. Quite frankly, probably the best way to deal with the transgender students is to make no special policies for them. Simply because we treat them normally, treat them as human beings, don't treat them exceptionally. So have them go to whatever toilet they feel comfortable going in and don't discriminate on that ground. Basically. No? Personally think or not?
I can. Yeah. Well, to be honest, I actually didn't expect you to ask that, but I'll certainly think about it as well.
Is there a response I had there, Carly?
No, so just like, I mean, just on the point of, the whole point is that they don't feel comfortable in going into male or female toilets. That's the whole idea of a gender neutral toilet. Just to clarify, I mean, it's not saying, obviously you're treating anyone on the trans spectrum as an equal, it's just obviously some people don't feel comfortable in either of those places.
Should we treat that as a point of clarification rather than a question?
It's not really a question.
Any other questions? Does the line have any questions?
Do we? God.
Yeah, we've got Matt, okay.
I had a question for, I think it was Ian's running for student activities. It became quite common knowledge that he put forward a vote of no confidence against Pete. And from that vote of no confidence, there appears to be a preference of allocation of budget towards certain societies. There appears to be a bias towards the sporting societies. I run a football team. We've already had £150 off this year. So what is he planning for next year?
Did you get all that in?
When it comes to the budgets, what I'd really like to see is just to make sure that people can see where all the budgets are going at all times, because there are these forms we fill out that we hand back to the president or the activities officer to say, and we have to ask as a society, we have to give a reason for a budget. I want to see that that's sort of published somewhere or something, so people can access this and see where the budgets are actually going, so that there's a sort of, you can be assured that there's nothing going on and that the budget is being treated fairly, and it's immediately obvious to everyone.
Does that answer your question, Matt?
Kind of danced around it a bit. I kind of just want to know, just to clarify, do you feel that the sports teams have received too much? And I want to know, we're probably the society that actually does the most expensive and regular activity, and the £150 decrease this year we've been able to sustain. If it goes down again by that much, it's going to be difficult to keep the team going, because we do have to travel quite a way. Some of them we even have to get a taxi because it's outside of, it's kind of beyond, it's kind of zone 6.
Okay, I think I see what you're saying. I have no interest in sort of reducing sports specifically or anything. If you need more budget, then you should always be getting more budget. That makes sense. It would be nice to see sports not be so separate from other societies though, and see an interaction between other societies, so people come and see your events and stuff like that.
Any others? Rory?
I have a question for Hannah. So I know you mentioned Alex, and obviously Alex this year did a lot of work with making posters, and quite often enough I had to go to him myself and badger him about making a poster. So would you see your role as completely separating that off from the vice presidency, and so the vice president doesn't deal with that at all, and that's totally your remit? So rather than sending an email to the vice president saying, "Can you make this poster?" we send an email to you, and then you deal with it in that way.
I see it as supporting rather than detracting from. So if he's overwhelmed, or like she is overwhelmed, then I can help. I'm more than happy to take most of it on. Like, it's just a case of supporting, working together, whatever needs doing is done, so that they can focus on what they want to do.
Okay, so however, if they're not, if they can handle it, for example, so if they're not, as you say, overwhelmed by it, then what would you be doing? I don't. I'm trying to get clear the distinction between your role and this is part of their sub role.
Well, I want to make sure that they are doing what they intended at the start of the year. I'm not saying Alex didn't, but like, he did take on web development and he did take on publicity more so than what he would have done if we'd had candidates for both of them. And I would just, yeah, that's what I want to make it more of a role than it has been.
Any other questions? Pete?
Yeah, I got a question for the ESA running for Women's Officer. You said that it shouldn't just be down to women to understand women's welfare issues, which I agree with, but I've got two little questions. The first is, how much experience have you got dealing with women's welfare issues? And secondly, do you think women in college with potential welfare issues are going to feel comfortable coming and talking to you about them?
Right, could you say the first question again?
How much experience have you got with women's welfare issues?
No more than anyone else. You'll find that quite a lot of the problems that will be presented to a welfare officer will not have been experienced directly by the welfare officer himself. The only qualification I can offer for this is basic empathy and an independent perspective. And the second question?
Do you think women on college facing potential welfare issues will feel comfortable coming and speaking to you about them?
I think primarily, if they really have a serious problem, the college is available for them, and I can be there to relay them. If, however, they have a fairly minor issue, I would encourage them to talk it out with their friends or just offer basic advice.
Okay, so what do you think your role consists in then? It doesn't sound like there's anything you've said then.
No, I'd say the main role is more doing working alongside campaigns, raising awareness, or just promoting general female issues amongst the other jobs and societies here.
Thank you. Kate?
Sorry, just as an add-on to that question, could you name like 3 issues faced by women in Haythorpe today? And that's a question that I sent to Nori as well. I'd say that should be any female welfare officer at Haythorpe should be able to, if they're standing, be able to provide evidence of issues that are specifically faced by women in Haythorpe today.
Well, fine, for the most part, they will be facing pretty much the same problems as anyone else. For example, homesickness will be quite a large one. But in one, a female-specific one, I think there's a...
Specifically women?
Yes.
Question was specifically.
Yes, I'm turning on to that now. In terms of specifically for women, there's quite a larger amount of modesty in religious associations with that. There needs to be a certain large amount of awareness of modest clothes stores for religious requirements that aren't really as large a degree with men. That's one specific issue at least, and quite a large one.
Just for 3, mate.
You can settle for that. You can settle for that if you like.
Do I need to answer?
Yeah.
Well, what's a woman's issue? Depends on the woman, frankly. I also agree that most of the welfare issues won't be, presented to a female welfare officer, won't be women's issues. They will be issues that a woman is facing, or issues that a man who has come to talk to a female welfare officer is facing. I don't think it's relevant to make such a distinction. Yes, there are problems that affect women more, and there are problems that affect men more, but at the end of the day, they affect both. And it's important that we have a balanced welfare team, not that we have a welfare team that deals with women's issues and deals with men's issues, and doesn't provide a bridge in between them.
Thank you very much. May I remind people in the audience not to shout out? Yes.
So why not just have one singular welfare officer?
Want to take that?
Because the job is too big.
Any of the other welfare officers want to take that?
More's better?
Okay, that's fine. Next question. Gala.
Yeah, hi everyone. It's kind of more of a general question, so if anyone wants to say stuff and have a say and reply to it, great. If you don't have to. Just as you guys are obviously clearly wanting to be involved and want to show that you're dedicated, what have you got involved with that's had anything to do with the HSU so far? Have you been involved in events? Have you been involved in societies? Because some people I haven't really seen before. So I want to kind of know if you guys have been involved or have helped out and whatever, and so I have some kind of idea.
I'm going to throw this to the events officers first, so you've not had a chance to speak. Who wants to go first?
I'll have to go first. I haven't run or been ahead of any societies, but I've been going to LGBT now for the majority of second year. I've been at the majority of Heathrow organised events. I'm always at the open mic nights. You can probably tell because I'm the rowdy one in the corner. I've been to all 3 balls that have been put on, and I'm just an avid lover of what we're doing here. Like, this is a big job, and I wouldn't be taking it on lightly. I know, I'm always in the HSU office. They try and get rid of me, but I'm still in there. Caitlin and Matt have shown, how much work there is to go in together, and just being a part of Heathrow. I think as a Heathrow student that gets involved with stuff, I might not have, run anything yet, but I know what there is to be done, and I know what there is that has been done. So just being a part of everything that's happened here, and befriending everything from freshers. I was a fresher parent, and befriending mature students. So just get integrated. That's what I've done. Integrated. Do you want
to? Specifically, I helped set up the Film Society before I drank myself into getting fired from it, but I promise I'm reformed. I played the open mic night and I fucked that up as well. First time playing guitar and singing, it was embarrassing.
It wasn't. It was brilliant. He's so hard on himself. I love it.
No, it was good. Thank you.
Yeah, James likes it.
You got it? Stuff I'm involved with. So I guess first is I'm a student rep for first year course. I sit on the table. I can't remember their names. I'm bad with letters that all stick together. I help found D&D SOC, which has 4 events a fortnight, 3 of which I have a hand in. I helped with the Okahi event. I went into their office and talked to people. I turn up to LGBT and talk to get involved there. I turn up to the societies of all 3 faiths because faith is important. I am a member at Philosophy Society, and I have way too much time to spend at this university, so I'm going to hand the mic over.
Well, I've been to all the Haythorpe events, summer balls and so on. I've got a good scope of what they're doing now. James, what was it like to live with me last year?
Enjoyable.
I think there were times where that was the case for you, but I don't know, strict philosophy, symposiums, my door lock being constantly broken was always, yeah, Maggie. I don't know. We had a lot of time on our hands and worship this city. We really did. And we want to carry on doing that with a bigger budget, to be honest. What was the question before I get to galvanised?
What have you been involved in?
What have I been involved in? I've been living pretty hard for the last year, I suppose. I don't know, we've been trying stuff out, I suppose, on a very small scale. getting ready for an events campaign, I suppose.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Chloe. I'm in the Philosophy Society. I was part of the Heads production of An Unwelcome Guest with Alex Ricken. Directed by John Cameron. I apologise. I do poetry for White Nights. I recently became a student ambassador to represent Heathrop. I was at the car thing yesterday if you turned up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Come to all the events.
Any other officers want a chance to talk on this one?
I'll do a really quick thing. Really quick. I'm a very active member of Pride. I go to literally every Heathrop event. I'm pretty sure I know most faces in here as well because I'm always around college. I spent a lot of time in the union office. I know exactly how it runs. Like maybe even more than union members, just because we're like friends.
Thanks very much. Right, we'll move on to the next question. Sam.
My question is also for the events team. Okay. And that is, do you have any idea of the budget you'll be working with and how much it would cost to put on a summer ball? And with those things in mind, if you do know how much money you'll be working with, great, it'll be a really simple question. But how will you go about raising more money? Because one thing Matt Kaelin done really well with this year is basically sustaining their own events, which seems really important for a union because otherwise, you know, you're making a loss. How would you go about making sure that you didn't end up breaking the union, basically?
You want to first?
Running as a team, no, specifically, we don't know how much the budget is. All we know is that it's reduced from previous years due to, well, your position now. That's not an issue. You don't, you know... Oh, sorry.
It's not true.
Well, the budget hasn't been reduced.
No way.
Alright, sorted. Money is not the issue. That's not a sticking point. If you equate money and fun, you are doing something wrong. As for raising money, we've already got a venue sorted. We work with promoters around London anyway. I can get as I said, Rinse FM featured DJs to play our events for free. So we're thinking about setting up our own student night, maybe raise some money from that, invite obviously people from outside Heathrop to come, see if we can make some money from music.
Yeah. I mean, one quite exciting prospect we've got now is this, he's a friend, I guess, he's a bit of an asshole, but this guy Aidan, who owns Goldmine Records, who did the first Baby at Shambles LP and so on, and working with a number of great bands now who are quite keen to put on a number of student nights in his studio actually, and also do quite a lot of events if possible, sort of around London. He sort of plays Bar 12 in the West End at a number of different points. Quite good to get sort of Heathrop as a sort of main listener base and so on. So we'll see how that goes.
Unlike my opponents, I haven't spent the last 18 years getting to know big promoters in London. I'm a Cardiff girl. I'm quite simple. If you want. Okay. I think it's just a case of there has been trouble with money, and I don't know the set budget. I did ask Ashley, but sitting here in front of everyone is quite intimidating to remember everything. But like I've said in my speech, you know, I've got ideas about having raffles and you know, getting money that way that can go towards getting money off events. And I'd like to think that I know, you know, I've integrated myself into the years and getting. Where am I going? I don't know. And like I said in my manifesto, getting a Facebook page up to get people to events, getting, you know, a Twitter feed, getting people to events that way. I will literally go above and beyond to make it work, you know, financially. Like I've said, hiring out a club doesn't always work. It doesn't always go in our favour because there's not that many students here that want big club nights. Therefore, do a questionnaire before the event, see who's up for it, buy in bulk tickets to a larger thing and integrate people into a student nightlife. Like, it's London, it's not Swansea where the whole uni goes to one place. Again, Swansea, I'm Welsh. But, you know, integrate with all the University of London students, and I think that's the best way to deal with the financial issues that they've hit this year. Although, personally, I think they did a great job. But I was there, all of them. completely wasted.
Numbers for most people, so I've already talked about them in my campaign. If I remember right, it's £2,000 for most of the year, £3,000 for a week, £10,000 summer ball. I like numbers, but I'll do whatever I can, work with whoever I can, call whoever I can to make the budget what it will be. Sure, I can do a whole bunch of great events, but that's be someone who's willing to sit there boringly, spend 40 hours on the phone, I enjoy, and do everything you can to make everyone's year as best it can. Yeah, you are totally right. Money shouldn't be the issue, but if there's someone there to go, money isn't an issue, then I can give them the money, it's not an issue. And that's what I hope to do.
Thank you very much. Just to clarify, by the way, the union's not bankrupt. I don't know what's going on here. Faye, you had a question?
Yeah, my question's for Chris. Chris, your welfare companions, they've been, they've been quite outspoken through this. They've had questions directed to them. I wondered, do you agree? Are you aware of your job as a welfare officer? Do you think that it goes beyond and beyond just sort of talking to people, as I think Nori quite outlined. Do you think do you agree that the welfare job is as Nori outlined and as Elliot rambled?
So it's about going above and beyond just talking to people.
Yes, I do agree with that. As I said, I think one of the most important aspects of the job is being there. I can really see the value of that, whole first port of call thing. But yes, I do agree it's about ways of raising awareness in terms of welfare, promoting welfare across the college. As I mentioned, I was the cameraman in Nori's video which highlighted the disabled access conditions in Heathrow, and that is really something that I can improve.
Right, I'll take two more questions, it's the two I can see here, and then, as you know, John, you've had one, Lucy hasn't, so I'll take Lucy and I'll take Matt. So,
it was
Lucy
a quick
first. Lucy.
Okay, it's for female welfare.
Yes.
Basically, I think Elliot talked about people covering up because we do have religious people at college, to be respectful. I think that's the message she was trying to get across. The thing is coming from a religious perspective, while gender divides, traditional gender divides can be offensive from a religious perspective, they are very important. So, say, personally, Christian, Muslim, you can disagree with me on this if you want, would they be comfortable going to a male officer for female welfare? I mean, I understand the need for covering up to be respectful towards religious decisions, but surely that is incredibly disrespectful to ignore such a big thing. Even though you may not agree with gender divides, it's a very important part. So it's just, I just wonder what they both think on that.
So to clarify, the question is, gender divide is an important aspect of religion. Is it offensive to ignore that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Elliot?
Yeah, but again, I don't really think it's being ignored, but perhaps in the pastoral care role, if they're not comfortable coming to me, that's fine, I can refer them on to the college or to anyone that's willing to help. But in terms of the active campaign, I don't see the problem. I'm perfectly willing and eager to highlight the issues of gender and religion.
Sorry, can I reply? If they're not going to come to you in the first place, how can you refer them anywhere?
They might not be willing to come to me to talk, but if they came to me and said, I want to be passed on to someone I can discuss it with, then that should be fine.
I think if you understand the problem with female clothing, that sort of thing, you should understand the problem of dividing gender with religion. I just think it's, yeah.
Certainly, but I can be a relaying system as well as a talking one.
Yes, I see where your concern is coming from. And I think with the actual massive diverse population of Heathrow, there are always going to be people who find it difficult to come to whoever we select as welfare officers. I am not everyone's cup of tea, I'm afraid. So I think it's about making us accessible to them and making the college more accessible as well, because one of the things that your point does raise is within college, if we pass on, there isn't actually a female dominant equivalent. So, yeah.
Thank you very much, welfare candidates. Matt.
Kind of follows on from Sam's. I've been events officer this year. One of the best things I think we have done is the comedy nights. In terms of the budget, they're brilliant to put on. I was wondering which officers have been to those nights and which would consider continuing them on next year.
You want to take it first?
Why not? Okay. Yeah, I've been to everyone bar one, and I enjoyed everyone I went to. They were great. Would definitely continue on every year I could. £300 a night, £80 back. It's great for everybody.
Sadly, no, I haven't. I tried to attend one, and I was ill. And the others have just clashed with my timetable, but I've heard nothing but great reviews for them, and I'll be more than happy to carry that on. That's what people want, and I genuinely think that's what they do want. That it would go to a questionnaire or something that I'd do if I got the role to find out. But yeah, they were great. Well done.
Yes, you're up first.
Alright. I haven't been to them yet. I'll carry them on if you cut out. I owe you a bottle of champagne, actually, don't I? From that comedy night 3 weeks ago or something.
Sure you do.
Yeah. I'll carry them on if you just call that quits.
Yeah.
How's that sound? Sounds good. Anybody else?
Right, everyone, that is the end of non-sabbatical question time.